Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, this just doesn't work. Well, back by popular demand is my man, Cowboys Nation, better known as Foots. And you guys,
Yo, what's up, Mark? Thanks for having me, brother.
oh man, you guys have been whipping up on Grandpa over here and things. But some people seem to like our debates and things. And the question tonight is, are the Dallas Cowboys screwing up in free agency? Are they asleep at the wheel? And Foots, I'm going to let you have the floor first, and you tell me what you think. Do you think the Cowboys are playing it the right way in free agency by not doing a damn thing and staying pat? Or should they be a little more aggressive?
Mark Holmes, you know I'm your residence draft guy,
Yeah,
and I listen. You obviously have a bunch of knowledge on this team, and you remember the days we were spending a lot of money, but was the team getting better, Mark? We have a draft, people. Mark, we have a draft. We're gonna be cruising down together, talking football, talking stories, talking draft. And I think the Dallas Cowboys mantra is we're not gonna overpay. We were in 9-7. We're gonna tweak some things. Would I like Dallas to go ahead and get an O lineman to be safe, or to get a linebacker on the cheap to be safe? Yes, I would. But to bring in a name, I don't see it happening. You know that we've been on separate sides of the fence, because if it's me, I'm trying to draft, and maybe bring in guys. And listen, what happened and what's happening now, Mark, is everybody saw Philly's kind of blueprint, if you will,
yeah,
that they brought in names and it worked. Even trading for Jay Ajayi in the middle of the season, it
definitely
worked.
did. Yeah, as opposed to
That,
Roy Williams for
that
us.
it, exactly. But for every Jay Ajayi, I was just, damn it, Mark. Excuse me, guys. I didn't mean to curse. Darn it, Mark. You took my point, because I was gonna say, when we traded for Roy Williams, it was a complete dud. It was a reason why the Detroit Lions didn't want you. So my point is,
Two number ones.
exactly, we got fleeced. I think that Dallas is gonna protect themselves from getting fleeced, and not to mention some of these names, Sue. I listen. I just don't like it. I don't want him, messing with the team chemistry that we have, kind of ruining young players. Whether we like it or not, it's still here. So he has a mantra. He has certain guys that he wants in, and I think with Greg Hardy, that was kind of more of a Jerry Jones kind of stepping in.
Wait,
You know,
who are you saying has a mantra? Oh, the clap. Wait. You mean, are you actually saying he has a role to play?
I think that he has a certain type of guy that he wants. Right or wrong, Mark, I do. And I think there's times like with Greg Hardy that Jerry kind of stepped in and was like, and we see that didn't work either. So we were 9-7 last year. When the dust settled, we were 9-7. Um, I don't think that you want to start messing with things now. And again, bringing in free agents to me is just a sign of teams who don't draft well, or who
Okay.
haven't drafted well, so they don't pay their own. We still have guys that we drafted that we have to pay.
I see your point completely. See, the way I look at it is this. First of all, I know when I do woodworking and carpentry and everything else and all that. One thing I've learned is you get what you pay for.
That's it.
If you go through and you buy that drill at Home Depot that's a special buy, it's not built the same as the one I buy from the professional supply house. It's going to work okay if you got, 5, 6 screws, but if you're like, building a house, it's not going to make it. So you truly do get what you pay for. However, I understand the Cowboys' philosophy of we don't want to be the guy that spends, $100 million for an Albert Hainsworth and end up getting screwed. And I get that. And believe me, I believe that the best way you build a team is through the draft. Because when you draft a guy, first round, second round pick, you're only paying them peanuts in comparison to a free agent. However, free agency should be a tool to supplement what you have. You can't build a team like a la the Washington Redskins on free agents, which is something they've forever tried to do, and
And
it's
are
never
still
worked.
doing. And are
Now,
still doing.
I know our team has been trying to build straight from the draft and draft only. However, we still have other holes that we need to fill. And I look at this team right now, which should be on the cusp. You've got a really great group of young guys. You've got those cornerbacks, Lewis, Awuzie, Xavier Woods, Anthony Brown. All of those
Brown,
guys,
yeah.
you want to have them playing together. With Taco. Hopefully, he'll have a breakout year this year. You've got Collins in there, and you've got DeMarcus Lawrence. So you want to get a group together and have them grow together, and all of a sudden be playing lights out in that window. However, you do sometimes need a veteran presence and a leader. And the thing that I feel is missing from this team is that vocal leader on defense. That's why I've been on the bandwagon about Earl Thomas, because he knows the system. He has been there. He's got that ring that he can show those other guys. And I think that we have too many holes if we're thinking that we can make a run next year to fill purely through the draft. I know we got 10 picks, but
the quality of player and how many you're realistically going to hit on.
Right.
No, I agree. You want to go into a draft getting 3 starters. That's
right.
how,
one being an impact player, a real difference maker like a Zeke Elliott. And if you can get 2 starters and a special team around it, you've had a great draft.
A great draft. You had a great draft, Mark. And that's what we're in the DMV, and I tell Skins fans all the time, their drafts have really been duds because they don't. The one thing that I will give Dallas, if they're drafting you, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
And they're gonna grow with you, and I kind of like that about the Cowboys. So I'm not disputing. You know what? Demario Davis would have been a good pickup for Dallas.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. See, now you've got people that are grabbing people just to say, okay, we got somebody, and I'm not saying like a guy like Crabtree or something like that, or somebody who's been coming off injury, but there are some guys out there that you look and you say, that would have been a good one. Demario, $24 million over 3 years. You're talking about $8 million a year. That's chump change in the comparison. I'm not saying go out and bust a bank for Naman Sue.
Yeah.
If we say having a good draft is having 3 starters, well, we got a problem. We need a guard. We need a tackle. We need a wide receiver. We need a linebacker. We need a safety. We need So all of a sudden, the numbers game, we're still going to have the same problems next year if we're not trying to make it. So I know they're beginning to try and make some of those bargain based moves, and it's hit or miss. Sometimes you get lucky, but I look at what we've been doing the last few years in free agency, man, and what we got is actually just some dead money.
I know. And you know what? I know Cowboys fans think about Cedric Thornton last year. Obviously, Benson Mayowa didn't do much.
Nolan Carroll.
And, those are 2 duds. Now, it was funny because George Selvey was kind of a lower-end guy.
Oh, George, he was on the scrap heap. He was in 4 different teams and only had 3 sacks.
He gave us good numbers, Mark.
He did, but for every one of those,
I get it. You know what? Who else? Who will be? I'm looking for. So, if Dallas were to cover themselves, I wouldn't be mad at that, Mark. And I guess this was a debate, but I guess we're kind of saying the same thing.
I think we are actually. I think we're agreeing that they need to do some wheeling and dealing, not going crazy.
Not going crazy because they won't. They won't. The Cowboys will not. But even then, we bring in Alfred Morris, we still draft Zeke number 4 overall. So I think it's just kind of, a covering of ourselves more or less. Because I think about, I want to say Kevin Durant, but Justin Durant brought him in, serviceable pro. That's the position. That's why I said Demario Davis. That's the position.
Well, Demario would have been definitely a much better upgrade than Justin Durant. Okay, we're talking 97 tackles and 5 sacks. Okay, 97 solo tackles and 5 sacks. That would have been an upgrade. And that's my point right there. In free agency, okay, we lost a Hitchens. What's the plan?
No, I agree.
And when you look at him taking $9 million, Demario took $8 million. We look at safety. You got the Honey Badger. He only went for $7 million.
1 year prove it deal.
And that's the kind of deal that you want. You don't want to have to do a long-term deal with these guys because free agents usually have about a 2-year shelf life, at least in my mind. Because more times than not, by 2 years, they're getting cut by the team and they're leaving a big pile of dead money. But I still think that they should have been a little bit more aggressive, at least make a few more calls and look around. But right now, it just seems like they're asleep at the wheel. And I think they've missed some really good opportunities to really improve the team.
It kind of reminds me of even a big name. Like the only hit I can really remember was when Green Bay is another team that likes to pay their own. They
Reggie
like to
White.
draft. They don't like a lot of turnover in free agency, Mark.
Yeah.
But I do remember them bringing in Julius Peppers, and it kind of took their defense
Well, the
to
ultimate one was
another.
Reggie White. He
The
was one
ultimate,
of
obviously, was
okay.
Reggie White.
Reggie
Yes.
White made all the difference in the world and helped them to get that Super Bowl, again. But
But here's a stat to sleep on, Mark. 400 transactions and basically 400 players that switched teams. Only 9 made the Pro Bowl last year. So even with the Cowboys kind of sticking with Dez, I've always said, the fans were talking about the wrong receiver. I got into it with Terrence Williams in practice because I went all the way from DC
mhm.
to training camp, and I just we were having words back and forth because I like Terrence, but yeah,
That's another,
so
again. And here's the thing. I think we need to upgrade on our wide receivers. I mean, at
yeah,
the moment, we had our discussion about Des Bryant and stuff, and right now, Des Bryant's looking kind of like a bargain in comparison to what some of these guys were getting. However, we still need production. But I think if the Cowboys do one thing in free agency is if they can at least secure a really good offensive lineman. And it looks like they're bringing in tackles. So it may be that they're looking at moving Lyle Collins back to guard, where as a rookie, he was doing double duty on blocks downfield. And that
yeah.
may be the thing. If we can get back to having the offensive line playing great, and that may be the spot that they really got to say, okay, let's bite the bullet and get somebody good in here. I think everything changes on the offense and as well for the defense, because then they're going to be able to run the ball at will.
I'm with you, Mark. So that's a good one, man. Good hitter right there.
Well, fortunately, it doesn't look like I got beat up as much today as I have been recently. But I appreciate it. Are you looking forward to the draft? Because we're a little over a month away for the road trip to end all road trips.
Mark, if you want to, I think what you should do is have me on every other day. We can start banging out some prospects, and I got you
Okay.
covered. And
All
any
right, fans,
questions
do you
you
hear
want to ask,
that?
have your fans
He's
ask me. Let's do it, man.
yeah,
So we can
you
have
heard that,
ready.
guys. All right, so we're going to have Foots on here more often and stuff. We're going to definitely bring in, because now that the worst of free agency is over, it's time to really start focusing in who we're going to be drafting and getting ready for that draft trip. I'm Mark Holmes, and this is Foots. And guys, I know you know Foots. You better make sure you subscribe to him if you're not already. Tell everybody where to
Cowboys
find you,
Nation
man.
TV. Cowboys Nation TV, y'all, and I do a bunch of music that's at Foots and Coles. And just thank you, man. And again, you guys don't give Mark a hard time because I tell you what, he works hard. Listen, this dude, he puts together all this stuff. I remember when I first met Mark, he's cooking, he's doing video, he's selling shirts, he got Jobu right there. That stuff, don't take that stuff for granted because a lot of people won't put that effort in.
Yeah,
And Mark is
I
one of the
appreciate
people
that.
that I look up to. So yeah, I say that every time. So
All
thank you,
right,
Mark, for
man.
having
I
me. Mark
appreciate.
Holmes,
Hey, I
man.
appreciate it. But don't worry, I'm a big boy. I can take my lumps. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Foots and Cowboy Jobu. And look, Michael Anthony Fitness actually showed up too. I'll catch you guys tonight at the live stream at 9:00. See you then. Hello, friends. Cowboy Jobu here with an unsolicited opinion on the Jobu wings. You were saying about the wings?
The wings are the best I've ever had. Hands down. Awesome.
Okay, well, we've been passing out our recipe. If you actually look on our YouTube channel, we have all the recipes for all this stuff on here.
With the women, with the ladies.
You know that. Okay, slide in a little bit here. Okay, all right, so on 3. Jay, get in there, man. Okay, we're gonna do How About Them Cowboys. Okay, all right, everybody, on 3, How About Them Cowboys. 1, 2, 3.